Welcome. I've got Waasi from Find Me Cars. I reached out to you because I thought it would be cool to have you on. Been following you for a while and a few of your different projects
Oh, yes.
and sort of where you've come from. We both came from the same sort of, we grew up in the same sort of area, I suppose.
That's true.
So I reached out and you're kind enough to jump on, so I appreciate it.
No, thank you for having us.
So yeah, I touched on it just then, but Find Me Cars. That's what you're doing now.
That's right. So that's basically the business. Um, yeah,
Maybe we'll touch on that quickly, and
sure.
then we'll go back to sort of how it all came about and where
Right.
you started from.
So what I do is basically Find Me Cars is where we take care of people that are obviously looking to buy cars, Find Me Cars, and also we also take care of helping people sell their car.
Yep,
So really, it's if you think about it, trying to sell a car, you got to deal with a lot of time wasters, a
yep,
lot more involved in
yep.
selling a
I'm
car.
I'm I'm actually dealing with that right now.
Right. So you've got a car for sale.
I'm selling that Volkswagen
The
Golf.
Golf out there, GDR.
Yeah, which I'm selling it for on behalf of a mate because I'm more
Ah, yes.
mechanically minded, so it's a bit
Yep.
easier to help him out. And I did the mistake straight away of just chucking it on Facebook.
Oh, Facebook. Gotta
And
love Facebook.
I'm not joking. I had it on for 5,000.
Yep.
I've had
Oh,
people offer me non-stop,
two, three,
yeah, a
if
Big
that.
Mac meal,
All
a
right.
kebab. I'll
Right.
come grab it now for a kebab.
Oh, we get that
Um,
all the time. We deal with a lot of that.
I I answer probably 6 messages a day
Yep.
to just go nowhere.
And the fact is, it still hasn't sold.
Correct, 100%.
That's the problem.
A person was meant to be coming tonight
Ah,
and said, "Yep, I'll give you 4K, 4K. I'll be here at 5:30, 5:30."
how
Left
many,
the group
how
and
many kilometers?
didn't
Wow.
arrive. So
How many kilometers on the car?
it's 170
That's not too bad. Automatic manual.
auto, but it's not registered or yeah, but it's probably got it's got full service history.
Yeah.
It's had upgraded exhaust, intake, tinting, all with receipts. Drives fine. It's
There
just
you
not
go.
registered.
So there you
There,
go.
plug in the car.
Plug in the car.
But yeah, so you obviously with myself personally, I've got a lot of projects happening. So the podcast being one of them, on
Yep.
top of my daily job and stuff like that. And then to give my time up just to answer these,
Calls.
I'll call them. I won't call them, but just to answer these people that have no intention of it going anywhere or want to offer me $1. Obviously, that's where you guys come in.
Correct. So really, it is a lot of time consuming.
Yep.
It is a time consuming aspect of selling,
Yep.
and you can't avoid that. It's just the way it works. But again, we over time built techniques, and you just know the obvious people who are time wasters.
Yep.
But there's a lot of techniques the certain questions you ask, the certain replies you get, just the method of how they conduct it.
Yep.
If someone's genuine, you literally, I mean, you've bought cars.
Yeah.
If
That's
you're
all I've done.
Yeah, if you find a car that you want, you're basically there as soon as they say be there.
Correct.
That's a genuine buyer,
Yeah.
and that's what we're looking for. Someone who's eager, who asks the right question. If you are looking to buy a car, you'll be like, "Hey, how's the engine? How's the service history? Any accident repair?" These are the questions that genuine buyers ask.
Correct.
But anyone who's time wasters, oh, will you a low price? That's the first question off the bat,
Yeah.
and that itself is a hot tip. Don't waste your time.
Even in my ad, I said genuine inquiries only. I told them it was not registered, blah blah blah, and I'm still getting just crap
it's
after crap.
it's amazing. Like, I mean, I do like sometimes, like, I mean, that's what we do. We write ads for on behalf of private sellers.
Yep.
And, we don't, obviously, we're not dealerships, so we represent private cars on the private used market. And realistically, it's like certain things like some people just take bad photos. The description is two liners, great car, come by.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those things.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing. How do you expect to sell a car? What makes your car different? And that's really it. It's the marketing. We live in a world where everything's in your hand,
Yeah.
your
Correct.
palm.
Correct.
And you could literally buy a car from not only your suburb, but now we're talking Victoria, interstate, and some international. I mean, cars, you could buy a car, like, for example, take a Supra or a Skyline. You can go, oh, I can buy one here for, I don't know, 10, 20, 30, 40 grand, or I can import one. So you're not only competing with the market locally, you're competing with international. And that's where the game changer is.
Correct.
So you have to market in order to stand out, in order to get a result. If you want to waste your time, go for it.
Yeah.
But if you want to sell it, it's all about these steps that need to be done to stand out. And then when you stand out, you get the sale. And we're generally good like that because we do conquer the sales much quicker. Therefore, the other cars that sit on the market for months, some years that we follow.
Yes, I've seen online. You actually have sold quite a few high end cars, and well, you deal with
Yes.
everything. But I,
Yeah, look,
I saw
we
you standing next to a Porsche,
Porsche, yeah, that's right. GT3 RS,
gorgeous
actually
car.
beautiful car in the lava orange.
Yeah,
One of the most expensive car we've had for sales.
yep,
So it was just like crazy. Like I was looking back at it, looking at the photos. We've sold some good Ferraris, Aston Martin. We've had an opportunity to sell Lamborghinis and stuff like that. So I mean the market is growing, and it's a lot of these people that are time poor,
yep.
which just is amazing because when we were started, oh, I mean I started the business in 2009.
Oh,
So
really? That
yeah,
long ago?
2009. So it's coming to 10 year almost next year. And when
While
we
I was out at nightclubs, you were buckling down and getting started on.
yeah. I mean, look, it's taken a long time, but yeah, like I was saying, like if we look back at it, we're like the first car I had to sell was like this old Kia Rio,
Yeah,
and at that time, no one wanted to touch a Kia.
it was a beast.
And it was so difficult to sell and try to sell it, and I thought, wow, if like, and I think at that time it was 1,100 or something like that, something ridiculous, and that was the starting moment.
Yep.
And I thought, wow, if someone can give me their car to sell, that's amazing. That's
Yeah.
something that, because the idea behind it all with the whole Find Me Cars is I'm not going to be able to buy every single car.
Yeah.
I know that for a fact.
Yeah.
So the best way is to just help someone else buy a car, but therefore also get an opportunity to drive and experience that car.
Yeah.
And that's really the passion, and that's really what keeps me driving, and that's where we've built up to this point.
Yeah.
And like I was saying, like 10 years ago when I was selling a Kia Rio, I thought, hey, if I can get someone to sell, like give me their $20,000 or $30,000 car to sell,
Yep.
it'd be amazing. Like someone could trust me with that much amount of money.
Yeah.
But now, I get above 100,000,
Yeah.
and it's actually easier to deal with those people than guys who are selling.
Yeah. I think it's because we both go back. We both grew up in the same sort of area. We're both car guys. I think that's sort of a plus for Find Me Cars.
Correct.
Not only are you just selling a car, but you're also a car guy yourself. So you sort of inspect the car. You know what to look out for,
Yeah,
what
definitely.
to sort of advise people of, and I think that's a cool trait.
Definitely, you have to be educated in what you do. It's like
Because like what I was getting at, anyone could, for example, I have some RX-7s. Anyone could grab an RX-7, bog it up, paint it, put a crappy motor in, and then say, "Hey, I want 20 grand for it."
correct.
And that's where sort of
And that's really
You
it.
come
It comes back to having the experience. I've done a lot of work on cars.
Yeah.
A lot of late nights, blood knuckles. Actually, I think I got a cut just recently.
I've seen one of
working
your
on-
conversions you did.
Correct. Yeah. The BMW with the 1J in it.
Yeah.
The twin turbo.
That's quite
That's
unique.
that's a pretty cool beast. It's meant to be my track car,
Yeah.
but it's been so long, and just getting out there to do it is so hard.
Yeah.
So it's always spending more money on the business and building the business
Yep.
rather than wasting money.
Yeah. A lot of people seem to do that. They seem to if they're trying to build a business and they got a hobby, the hobby sort of takes a back door step, which understandably,
Correct.
while you're trying to grow,
Well-
and then you'll come back to that in 20 years time. And
Correct. Well,
Bit-
one tip is I think every car guy can relate to is never count all the stuff you spend on the car.
yeah, correct.
Right. So I did the opposite.
Yeah.
I've actually got Excel spreadsheets on all my bills.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I keep a sort of a rough idea of pretty detailed, but rough in the sense of you're not going to count every nut and bolt.
Yeah.
And the money I've spent on so by the way, I've also got a Toyota Supra,
Yeah.
which was my first car when I turned 18.
Yep.
And that's been my love of my life.
Yeah.
That's really taught me everything.
What
because,
year is it?
1989.
Oh.
So it's the flip-up light Supra
Yep.
with the aero top, and it's a GT Limited, which is the Star Wars dash.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, it's got
Yeah.
all the electronic
Yeah.
dash.
I had an early 300ZX like that,
Yes.
like the first generation.
Yeah, 30 Z31.
Yeah,
So,
correct,
Yeah.
yeah. They had
And,
the little Star Wars dash.
actually, crazy thought. It was actually, so I went looking at that three, because I've always wanted a flip up
Yep,
light.
yep.
Something about flip up light cars, I love it. I'm sure you can
I'm the
relate.
same. All my RX-7s are flip ups.
Yep. And then I looked at the Nissan and I said, that's probably an affordable car at that time. I
Yep.
said, look, I'll try to get that. And there was one around in Dandenong running around, a white one with a little chrome bumper, had a little
Like a
nudge bar.
yeah,
Nudge
yeah,
bar,
yeah.
that's right. So I've always, and that was the, I think the 89, because you know it had all the nicer bumpers.
Okay, I didn't know that, but there
So
you go.
there's a model update,
Okay.
and I've always wanted to get that. And then that was about, at the time, 6-7 grand. And I said, okay, that's what I want to do. So I went with my dad. I said, we'll have a look at it. When I had a look at it, I was pretty much sold on having that.
Yep.
But then that week or that weekend or something, we had to go to Sydney.
Yep.
And I went to Sydney. We went to Sydney. Went to, I think it was Bondi Beach or wherever
Yep.
it was. And there was this black Toyota Supra parked there, and it had this flip up lights slant. You know, they do the little lazy eye.
Yeah.
And it was just black, and it was just amazing. And that day, I just looked at it and go, oh my God, I'm in love with it. This is what I want.
Yep.
So that day I told my mom and dad, I said, I don't want to. And you know how I convinced them to spend, like, you know, it was also obviously we had to spend a little more money on it.
Yeah.
But I said, look, mom and dad, I really want the Toyota Supra. And by hopefully being a Toyota, I could convince them to let me buy the Supra rather than the Nissan. So they're like, oh, yeah, okay, look, you know, being a Toyota should be good.
Yeah.
Big mistake. After 3 engines.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow, really?
Yeah. I had the 7M in it, blew that head gasket, did that 2 times.
Heavy right
Common.
foot.
Yeah, I mean, it was turbo. And that was a good thing. Back then, we were allowed to drive under P's turbo cars.
Yeah, well, I had my turbocharged RX-3 as soon as I got my
Yes.
license.
Ooh, RX-3s are worth a big money.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I wish I still had it, but
Yeah.
like, yeah, as soon as I was 18, I had P plates,
Yeah,
13B turbo.
because I think at that time it was power to weight ratio.
Mm.
And most of the police officers couldn't calculate that.
I never got pulled up
Really?
in my RX-3. I got pulled up in my daily VP wagon, and I got,
Oh, yeah.
no, that's
With the
ridiculous.
P plates up, of course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Fun
no
times.
one cared back then.
Nah. I mean, I did get defected. I got defected for ball tires. That was a big mistake.
Front
But
or rear?
turbocharged, manual. It was fun. Back in the days, but yeah, I still have it, and I don't think I can ever sell it. It's just too much of who my identity is, because based off that car, that was basically my education.
Yeah.
I learned how to pull the engine apart, learn how to put things together, learn how to modify, you know, learn the electronics of the car, like,
Yeah.
you know, learning wiring and
Yep.
how the wiring harness works and all that. So really, a lot of that was my learning.
Some people just will never get it because they're not a car person. But if you are a car person, it's a part of you. It's a part of
Yeah.
your life. It's like almost family.
Well, it's saying that, like I keep every time my mom and dad, every time I buy a new car or something, they go, oh, you know, you buy a car, or you know, my fiance, and then it's like, well, you can't blame me, because when I was young, my mom and dad bought me cars. It was basically embedded to me. Like, my first car was a pedal car.
Yeah.
I still have a photo of it. I can't remember how young I was, but you know, it was my car.
Yep.
And that was my pride and joy. This little, I remember it was the shape of a Benz,
Yep.
but that was a pedal car. And then obviously grew from there to, you know, Hot Wheels, and then the 1/8 scale models.
I've told the listeners before, but even when I was 16, I think girls weren't even on my mind. I was still playing with Matchbox cars, Hot Wheels cars. Like, I was such a.
Well, that's exactly it. You had.
I just loved cars.
It was a good way to connect with friends.
Mm.
You get all your crew together. You'd enjoy the task of. It's big problem solving. That's what I think. That's what I love. Actually, my downtime, or how I relax, is working on cars.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of guys can relate to that.
Yeah, unless you're a mechanic.
Unless you're a mechanic. That's the difference. I mean, yeah. I mean, like, I keep that as a hobby rather than a full-time job. But yeah, like
That's why I got out of the industry, because I just wasn't enjoying it as a hobby anymore.
correct.
Yeah.
Like, I was also given the opportunity, and also, like I said, I did work, and I'm a qualified mechanic.
Yep.
But at the same time, it was just the same thing. I just wanted to get the qualifications
Yep.
and get out. Because realistically, to build yourself up, you shouldn't ever be asked, hey, do you know the industry?
Yeah.
And I think that's always a base rule for me.
Ah, cool. Maybe take the listeners back and tell us how you became Find Me Cars? What you had to go through, the obstacles, and
Yeah,
maybe
look,
some of your previous jobs and stuff like that,
sure.
to what you sort of eventually became Find Me Cars.
Yeah, well, so I mean, in terms of, we touched on what I did in terms of, I did my VC. I did a lot of, I think it was a motor, motor mechanic
Yep.
in VC. I
Yep.
took a lot of that subjects,
Yep.
and then obviously went and did a bit of motor mechanic stuff. Um, Qualified as a mechanic there.
You just didn't enjoy it as well,
Um,
like as a job.
it was all right. But again, I just didn't want to get into it. Like,
Yeah.
what really happened is my uncle, he said, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I said, "Oh, look, I want to do cars. I'm a mechanic." And he said, "No, no, no. You gotta change
Yeah.
your
Okay.
opportunity." So he was actually,
That's a good uncle.
yeah, yeah. And he said, "No, no." He basically grabbed me by the ear and he said, "You're going to uni."
Yep.
I said, "Okay, well, where?" And at that time, I was already way past the enrollment stage.
Yeah.
Like, the whole process, didn't even look at it.
Yeah.
I was way past that. And he said, "Nah, he actually is a teacher, or used to be a teacher. I'm not too sure. At Vic Uni."
Okay.
And he said, "Look, I'm gonna get you in."
Yep.
So he got me in, and guess where he enrolled me?
Where?
I mean, we're obviously in End of Hills.
Yep.
I had to go every day to Sunshine.
Oh wow.
I had to basically cross the city to get to it.
Let's just say Sunshine is not the.
No, it's not. And that was, and that was at that time I was doing my computer system.
Yep.
Sorry, advanced diploma in computer system
Okay.
engineering. So that was at Sunshine University, uni.
Yeah.
And oh man, every morning I used to get up at 5 a.m.,
Oh wow.
get ready, leave the house about 6:30, and then try to catch.
Oh,
So
wow.
basically, it was a bus from here to Danong, from Danong to Station 2.
Yeah, just so the listeners know, Endeavour Hills was not the public transport hub.
No,
and it's
no,
still, I don't think
yeah.
it still is.
Well, it was like
We don't
literally
even have
one
our own-
artery. You had to
We
get
don't have
in
a
and
train
out.
station.
Yeah, no, we don't either. That, yeah, Danong. So that was the main hub, and so I did that for a while, and again, that's where I learned a lot of, opened my mind as such.
Yep.
Because you think you can achieve this, and that was it.
Yep.
Where when I went to uni, I saw the different environments. I learned a lot of computer stuff,
Yep.
so I'm very handy with computers, and that's really given me the edge to where I'm building the business and
Yeah,
being
perfect.
being online nowadays. I mean, geez, if you don't have much computer stuff, you're lost. And
100%. 100%.
so I was very grateful for that opportunity, and then from there, I graduated and then went into Vic Uni to do my computer science,
Yeah.
and I did that for about a year, and then I sort of said, look, my mechanical engineering, at RMIT, sorry,
Yeah.
and then I changed to that, and I sort of tried that, and again, a lot of people, the talk was, after you finish uni, you got to get a graduate position, and it just looked like too far for what I can. And at that time, I was actually working. Have you heard of a company called Venture DMG in Keysborough?
No, I haven't. No.
So they used to manufacture car parts for Holden, Ford, Toyota. So this was quite, like, I got a job there, and then I actually advanced up in, I think overall I worked there for about 3-4 years.
Yep.
And I was basically started off as a button pusher.
Oh, okay.
And this was amazing. Like, I was so impressed with the whole, these machines, how they inject plastic.
Yep.
And then it comes out a car part.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. I didn't, everyone knows how cars are built.
Yeah, correct.
But the basics of how a part's manufactured,
Yep.
that was amazing to see that. And then I was like, oh, I know exactly where this car part belongs. It's, the fog light for a VE Commodore.
Yeah,
Or this is the door handle for a Toyota Camry.
Yep.
So that enthusiasm, basically, the guys recognized, and they said, hey, would you be interested to join this team? And then I was, I progressed in that job to where I was eventually a continuous improvement engineer.
Oh, cool.
And we did a lot of working with Toyota head office, and Toyota being the benchmark for the industry. And then they invited us over, this was really cool. Again, it's all about life, is like the journey.
Yep.
Not so much of what you did. Or,
Yep.
it's just little things that go, wow, I did that where someone else might have not had the opportunity. And I think one was like going to Toyota, the head, the manufacturing plant.
Yep.
And seeing how they build cars. That is, I don't know. I mean, have you, like, that's the opportunity.
I did. I'm a diesel mechanic by trade.
Okay, yeah.
I did my apprenticeship at Mercedes head office.
Oh, yeah.
But I still never got the opportunity to go to an actual plant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, Mercedes are not
Yeah,
built here.
correct.
Yeah.
But I did a lot of Unimog and G-Wagon
Oh
work.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you
Unimogs are
know what
pretty
they
cool. Yeah.
are.
I've always looked at, like, every time I see online on the auctions and they come up from the ex-military,
Mm,
the Unimogs. I was like,
mm.
oh,
I'll be buying one day for sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. So yeah, so from there, just working engineer, seeing the manufacturing plan, and then the GFC happens.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I'm
That
sure.
screwed me as
Yeah.
I
You
think
also had a bit
no,
of.
it screwed me because I was finishing my apprenticeship at Mercedes, and then the general manager from head office came and offered me a job on paper to work in the office in spare parts.
Yeah.
Um, and this was right around the time of the global financial crisis. Um, and a week to go till I finished my apprenticeship, they came back and said, "No, we can't. We've got a ban on
Oh,
hiring extra people." So I was left
oh
jobless.
no.
But yeah,
Well, it's the
so
same thing. I mean,
yeah,
the guys like, look, we love you. We love everything you've done. And at that time, I was even given a certificate from the Toyota, the main guys in
yeah,
Toyota, because we sort of implemented this training room,
yeah,
and that was my baby. That's my brainchild, sort of
mm,
thing. And I had to, conduct training for staff, which was on a three shift per day. So you had the morning shift, the
yep,
afternoon shift, the night
yep,
shift.
yep,
So conducting that training, and unfortunately, when the GFC comes, no one's you're just a number,
correct,
unfortunately.
yep, 100%.
And I think that was the point where I changed, because then I realized it doesn't matter how much work you put into it, you're always just gonna come down to a number. And I think that was the mind shift. That that was the foundation, because I did so much, I really put into it, and then when the time comes, sorry, just
Hmm.
we have to cut down the numbers. And being a young engineer, you always success to find another job,
Yep,
but just not with us.
yep,
And that hurt a bit, but that's life.
yeah. I've always got the mindset that to succeed, I always think myself to succeed in life, you got to have your own business.
Yeah. Yes and no. I mean, business is not easy.
Yeah,
Yes and no. I
yeah,
mean, there's a lot of successful businessmen,
yep,
but there's also a lot of unsuccessful. I mean, a lot more
yep,
unsuccessful. And like that's really interesting. Actually, just here, while I was coming today, and I was reading the news and on phone, and I think it's Max Burner. Max Burner.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
They just
The cafe,
they
yeah.
just filed for liquidation.
Oh wow. Yeah,
And
but chocolate can only go so far.
yeah, but I mean, everyone wants to chill and they're always busy,
Mm.
so I didn't think it was a big issue. But they filed for liquidation, and I think the owner, who had this $30 million mansion in Turak or somewhere, is now, they've got caveats on it and so on. So really, also, like, it's scary, because you get to this top and you think, hey, I've made it, and then just like that, it can all come tumbling down,
Mm.
and that's the
That
fact of business.
yes,
Of being a business person.
that's where you got to be mentally tough and smart.
Correct. You really, like I said, I know a lot of successful people, and it's just, the fact is that you really need to build more than one avenue. Like, that's probably my advice: is you got to have um, other ways of having an income. It can't just be one solo business, because that's when, if one thing goes bad, it's you got nothing else to cling on to.
So you started in '09.
Well, I registered the business name in '09.
Okay.
How it came about, actually, I mean, maybe I'll explain that
Yeah,
to
of
you.
course.
Find me cars. Everyone go, find me cars. It sounds a bit stupid, but that's the how it came about. Is friends and family knew I was the car guy. Everyone wanted me to work on their cars and all that stuff. But eventually, time comes, people want to buy a new car, and they said, hey, can you help me find a car? And from that, it turned into one, two, three, four people.
Yeah.
And I said, this is pretty cool, and then I went one night, and, like a light bulb moment, I said, why don't I just become Mr. Find Me Car?
Yeah.
Find me a car. Now, I could have done Find Me a Car, but it's short and sweet.
Find me
works.
vehicles.
Yeah, vehicles.
Find me
So
wheels.
Find Me Cars. And and that was it. And then I said, oh, look,
It's catchy though. I'll give you that.
yeah, it works. And that's business. It's, you don't know what will work. There's some crazy names out there, and you think, how did they do that?
Yeah.
And I registered the business name. Again, you need a computer to get onto that.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, I am now Mr. Find Me Cars. And then from there, it just grew from that.
You're just building and building and building.
It took a lot of time. I mean, like,
Yeah.
again, the fact is, we don't like everything is now dependent on the internet.
Correct.
Like maybe 10 years ago, would you've even pulled out your credit card to pay for something online? You would never punch in your credit card details
let alone
online.
tap it.
Let alone PayPass.
Yeah.
And now we live in almost a cashless society.
Yeah.
Where
it's almost annoying having cash, like having to pay for something
Yes.
cash as it is not cash these days.
It's actually a funny thing. The other day we were into a store and there was a massive line, at least 20 people in this line.
Yep.
And it was one of those wholesaling
Yep.
businesses and
Yep.
clothes and shoes and all that. So anyway, we were standing there and they're like, oh, if anyone's paying cash, they can jump the line. And literally 20 people, one person puts up their hand and go, I'll pay cash.
Yeah.
And we were the second person.
Yeah.
And I thought it just blew my mind.
There's a couple things on that subject. We'll go off on the tangent. A business that only takes cash annoys me,
Yes.
and a business that has a surcharge
Yes.
also annoys me.
Definitely. I mean, these are society's minimum.
Not in 2018 anyway.
No. I mean, I think that's just ridiculous when you've been charged this certain amount.
Yep.
And you think, well, like, hang on, like this should be built into your business.
Yep.
It shouldn't be extra.
Yep.
Because if you can't operate with this, then maybe my money's not good enough for you.
Yep. So earlier, so you registered the business name.
Correct.
So what did you implement? What sort of strategies did you use to try and get your name out there, to try and get clientele, to try and get people to trust you?
My biggest I think I can really, how I marketed myself initially was really just a business card. I just every day I carry, it's like part of my my getting ready. Like what you need is a minimum is a phone and my business card.
Yep.
And literally that's all I did. Just hand out business card. Any opportunity, hello, how are you? Got a car for sale? Fantastic.
Yep.
And just being a business card and being there in person, and if you're a person that can relate and they can see that, hey, I can trust this guy.
Yep.
That's really it. I like people do all these fancy things.
Yep.
I didn't have a working website.
Yep.
I didn't, I don't own a garage. I'm not a mechanic in that sense. It was just basically a piece of card and say, here, this is what I can do, and just being consistent with that was my marketing. Obviously now we've built a lot more marketing avenues. We've got better at that. We're good on Facebook and other social media. But
So would social media have a bigger presence in your sort of strategy?
Definitely. You got to be where the people are.
Yeah.
People are looking at Facebook. I think there's some crazy studies done that I think I don't know, like 4 hours a day or something in total of that 5 minute, 2 minute views that combine of 4 hours of your life or something that I don't know the exact figures, but you get the point. Is we need to be where they need to be, where the audience are, the buyers are, and also building a lot of my business was from social media because people would recommend so on, and that's just how we built it. Word of mouth and business card, 2 things.
That's your hot tip.
That is the hot tip. Is just be you, and and in business you have to be honest and you have to be genuine.
Yep.
Because people will see through it.
100%.
People will see through it.
Whenever like I've been in sales before, and I've just always been myself, and you end up doing better because of that.
100%. And you'll just like some guys who put on this whole show and this whole
we'll get it done now, and then I can make this happen.
And some are over promising.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll do everything for you. Do you want it? Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And I think those are the ones that really kill it. And if you ever worked in the sales in the car stuff, it's always just a bad salesman that says, oh, you can't afford it. Or, that makes the sale because that person I'll show him.
Yeah.
And we've been in that situation with one of my friends where we went to have a look at the Subaru that he wanted to buy the new WRX.
Okay.
And we went in and had a look at it and we asked the price and we offered him a price that was reasonable. We're not asking, 30, 40 grand off. It was a reasonable offer. It was like 2-3 grand difference from what they were at.
Yeah. And that's very acceptable.
Yes. You would think.
You think that's in their strategy when they...
Of course, this is how everyone wants to win. Their win should be factored in, and that's how we sometimes price our cars. Is they have a win, we have a win because we know our numbers, we know where we need to be.
Yeah, correct.
And he wouldn't do it, and he said, "Oh, look, this is the exact word he said. I'm pretty sure it was. Look, Subaru is not for everybody.
Oh
You know?
wow!
Yeah, it's not for everyone. Or I think he said
It's like
WRX is not for everyone.
you should have said to him, like, bro, it's a Subaru, man. Chill out.
Yeah, and exactly. I mean, like, look, a Subaru is a good brand. Don't get me wrong, but it was like,
It's
hang
not
on.
a Lamborghini
Yeah,
here.
and then and been saying that was a trigger. That was what my friend needed. He
Really?
just needed that trigger, and he said, you know what? He went to the other salesperson, and he said, you know what? I'll buy it. And he bought exactly the color he wanted, the blue with the
But with someone else.
with someone else. He said, no,
Yeah.
I'm not going to use you, but I'll buy a sale right now. And if there's always a bad salesman that helps get the sale, and that's the bottom line.
Car salesman. That's a whole new podcast.
Oh, yeah, that's
At car yards.
that's a different.
cutthroat.
Maybe we've got to come back for that one.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. So are you? Where are you at now? Are you quite happy with how the business is growing?
Yeah,
You're getting good referrals. You got a steady
definitely.
sort
Yeah.
of. Are you attached to? Have you got anything cool, special coming up?
Well, I can't tell you what's coming up because until I have it,
come
then
on,
it gets
mate.
released.
Podcast.
Podcast. Cool. I mean, look,
Podcast exclusive.
like I mean, like
Nah.
before this, I had to go and check out a AMG 63.
Oh, gorgeous.
Went there
What
to,
year?
This is a 2009.
Yep.
And again, it's all about just having that network of people that say, look, so and so on use you, and I've been recommended by 2 people, and that's like it feels so good to hear that because that means you've done something right that will
100%.
always go further than a marketing or a piece of newspaper on a site or
That whole
or
family.
marketing.
That whole family and their friends will all use you now.
Correct. And that's
And
what I
the
say is if you gotta even if you not every deal you can make money.
Yep.
And not every opportunity is to fill your pocket.
Yep.
It's sometimes you just gotta do it for free.
Yep.
Because if it's good and it was meant to be, then it'll come back to you. And that's always I'm a big believer in that.
Yeah. Good karma.
Good karma, definitely. There's just opportunities that sometimes you can't do anything, and
Yep.
the circumstances is you walk away with
Yep.
empty hands. But
Yep.
that's business.
Yep.
If it was a job, you wouldn't move unless you're getting paid per hour rate.
Yep.
You wouldn't even get to work.
Yeah.
But business, you can wake up today and go, hey, am I gonna make $1 or not today? And you don't know.
So when you get referrals and stuff do you deal with most of the clients yourself?
I do. I mean, it's
Not only are you the owner, the face of the business, but you deal with the clients yourself.
definitely. We're in that position that we are still a boutique business.
Yep.
So we're able to take care of each client personally and just figure out what their drive and what their I won't say a problem.
Yep.
But there's a reason that someone wants to sell a car.
Yeah.
Be it family, be it that they want to upgrade, whatever it is, that's their motive.
Yep.
And that's really where we tackle
Yep.
that, and not so much to use them against it, but like sometimes, like for just an example there, you could sell the car a little bit cheaper, but you could probably score a better deal on buying the new car.
Yep.
So sometimes you could be, wasting months, weeks, depending on how the car is, to get that extra $2,000. Where if you just called up the dealer and said, "Hey, can you do it $2,000 cheaper?"
Yep.
So sometimes that's what we do. We sort of have to look beyond this.
Yep.
And figure out where the end result is.
Yep.
And see if we can do something different down the track. Take a loss on this.
Yep.
Because it moves today rather than another 2-3 weeks.
Yep.
But you could recoup if we're talking about $1 value. You could recoup that from the next time.
Yep.
And that's life.
Ah, cool.
That's generally life.
If any of our listeners want to hit you up or find you on social media or something like
Definitely. Like Find Me Cars, the website,
Yep.
findmecars.com.au.
Yep.
Definitely check out our Facebook. We got YouTube channel too, but I think he's is doing a bit more better.
We'll have to collab.
Yeah. But what I did want to explain is I love doing. If people do go and check out the website, have a look at the video section because we do these really amazing videos. Have you ever seen?
I've seen some of the stuff you've posted.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
And I've always that's also been a little like a bit of a passion to it because I think one of the coolest video we've done is the 67 Mustang,
Yep.
the Eleanor.
Yep.
So we had a very cool replica.
Gorgeous car.
You saw that amazing car. And this had the works, had the the money, basically a retrofit. So
Yeah.
it had the new engine,
Yep.
6-speed manual. This thing boogied,
Yeah.
like boogied.
Yeah.
And that was amazing car, first of all, to have on our books to sell and opportunity to do all that. But we did this video, and
It's an interesting point. You sort of deal in. You don't just deal in new cars or expensive car like
no,
pristine cars. You
no.
deal in
Well, look,
classic
we're
and
here to help people.
yeah.
And if people are willing to work with us, and obviously, as a business, that's what we do.
Yep.
If you're happy to work with us, any car, any type, we're happy to help.
Yep.
Generally, it's all about, finding what we can do for you and if we can do what you expect.
Yep.
But yeah, doing this Eleanor, we did the video and we did a mashup of Gone in 60
Yeah,
Seconds.
yeah.
'Cause that's where the car comes from.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the hero car.
Correct.
So we did the little mashup where the car, the car, and then we did the video, and the cut scenes were the car.
Yeah.
But it looked like Nicolas Cage was talking to the car.
Yeah.
And I mean that was quite a big achievement.
Yeah.
Because that was like, hey, not only the whole idea behind it is not only do you get to, first of all, the owner will love it.
Yeah.
Because he gets to see that's my car.
Yeah.
But more importantly, the buyer, and why we do the video, the thing behind it. First of all, social media loves videos.
Yeah. 100%.
Like everyone's on videos, and
100%.
that's what videos are for.
100%.
Second is you get to go, hey, if I bought that car, that's how I would feel, and that's sometimes what it is. Buying cars is that feeling.
Yep.
People want that
I
feeling.
know how excited I was when I was 18 and I bought my RX-3. I didn't even
Yes.
tell my parents. It's a funny story I'll say quickly. I didn't even tell my parents. I went and looked at it with a friend.
Yep.
I bought it. I remember I paid $9,000 back then.
Yep.
I stored it at my mate's house for like a month to 2 months.
Till you try to work out how you're gonna
Yeah.
approach
Still didn't tell my parents. And then I think I got over it, and I was watching TV at the parents' house, and I thought, no, I just got to get it. I walked to my mate's house, and drove my car back, parked it in the driveway, and just started watching TV again. And
Just magically appeared.
Just wait for all the explosions to happen
the
behind
hell's
me as I'm walking off. So,
But did it go down well?
no, but that's my
That's part
experience.
of life. Yeah.
So anyway, so they can catch you on all social media stuff.
Correct.
So
Mainly the website. The website's got
Find
the
Me
cars.
Yep.
We also help people buy cars. Again, just same thing is you got to watch out for what you're looking at. There's a lot of people, and again, this is what is, rubs me the wrong way. Is the fact that people get ripped off.
Yeah.
Like certain cars that they're not worth what they were asking.
Yep.
And people just spend the money blindly, and
Yep.
and that annoys me because, sometimes it's also sometimes the people who don't know much,
Yeah.
and they get caught out because they are not educated
Yep.
in the car stuff.
Yep.
And they'll just go and buy. I won't really give examples, but certain things like it might have been an accident car written off history, but asking the exact same money as a car that's well looked after, service history and so on. So these things I think that's really why I do it passionately.
Yep.
Because I hate getting people that don't know much get caught out with these cars, and people who obviously benefit from it go and do more of it. Because if you sell a dodgy car and you can...
Unfortunately, the car scene can be quite a dodgy scene. So
Exactly.
it's people like you that obviously try and stop that from happening,
And
which is awesome.
Exactly, and that's really I love it, and also it's hard because sometimes people just I go there and inspect the car on behalf of my client, and I tell them, I said, hey, look, I wouldn't be doing my job if I don't point out what's wrong with the car and
Yep.
what I believe has happened to the car.
Yeah.
And some signs are so easy, especially with paint and bodywork lining up and all that. They're so easy now to say, hey, look, the car's been in an accident. The owners, the owner or the seller at the time, hates it.
Yeah.
But that's just life. You have to tell them. And sometimes I feel bad telling the buyer because he's so excited. He wants to buy this car. He wants it today. And I'm like, sorry.
It's not what it seems.
You can buy it. I'm not going to stop you.
Yeah.
But I've got to tell you what it is and my opinion of it. And you can do what you want. But these are the cars that not necessarily are bad, but it's just, you can't, it's all about price versus quality.
Yeah, correct.
So that's my opinion on that, yeah.
Well, I've known you from way back. Grew up
Yes.
in the same area, so it's awesome to see what you're creating and what the business is growing into. You've always been a genuine bloke,
Oh, thank you.
so I look forward to see where you take it in the future.
Well, look, yeah. I mean, that's
Am I gonna
this.
am I gonna see you in a skyscraper in the city, or
Whew,
is that
well,
the goal?
we'll probably need the we probably need
Some
the
billboards,
stacker. We need the stacker
some
for
billboards
cars.
past Monash. Or...
Look, I am looking to again. We used to have a warehouse. We did the
Yep.
whole warehouse,
Yep.
parking the cars and all that. With this business overheads, obviously a lot of businesses you see for sale
Yep.
or sold or non-existent.
Yep.
A lot of businesses are closing down for a fact because of overheads.
Yep.
So better to save ourselves. We sort of reduce the overhead of not we're having a warehouse and so on.
Yep.
But in the future, I think I am going to lean towards putting down a workshop.
Yep.
That way we can keep a lot of the business in house because we do give it a lot of roadworthies and services and
Yep.
fixing up and detailing and all these things.
Yep.
We do a lot of outsourcing,
Yep.
but eventually we want to bring it in house. That way we can better look after our clients and also just better quality of overall process.
Yep.
Because when you're relying on another business, sometimes it could be great, sometimes it can't be. And also price is a big factor because we keep it in house, we can keep the cost low, therefore giving a better quality to our clients. So yeah, look, in the future we're looking at expanding into a workshop.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Well, if anyone needs your services, if they're selling or want you to source them a car to buy, get this bloke because he's mechanically minded. He knows what he's looking at, and he won't get you something that's just full of bog and
Yeah.
head gasket
I
sealer.
mean, you can buy full of bog if you want it, but at the end of the day, it's all about you, what you want to do. But yeah, that's really it. I mean, I feel the fact that I have that car knowledge
Yep.
helps me, and I'm passionate about it.
100%. I can see that when you talk
Yeah.
about it. So I appreciate you lining up your schedule and coming in.
Yeah, it was we have a bit of back and forth, but we
Yeah.
got there.
I appreciate,
got there.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming in. So
Oh,
thank you for your
having
time,
us.
and I'll link everything below.
Yep.
And I think maybe we'll have you on in the future
No, thank you.
Once-
Thank you for giving.
once this workshop takes place or something.
Yeah,
like
well,
that.
maybe you could do it at a workshop.
Oh,
Maybe
the-
the launch.
Oh, there you go. Is
There
that
you
is
go.
that is
That's
that
a-
the
that's an
is that
idea.
invitation?
Well, let's see how we go. Let's
Alright.
see how we go.
No, I appreciate it.
No,
Thanks for
thank
coming
you.
on.
I appreciate your time.
No worries.